Okay, so I am selling my Nitro 200, and this is my attempt to make the kind of video that I would want if I were buying it. So let's do a little walk around. First things first, the motor it says 252 hours on the odometer. Hey, there's me. So, but the motor doesn't really have that many hours. I'll tell you the scoop. The Nitro 200 used to have an issue where it would get a crack right there. They've since changed the design. You can tell it's the new design because this center rib is high and this thing is like protruding instead of dented in. Anyway, this is the new motor and they don't crack anymore. But mine cracked under warranty, and Aviator, they got really good support. They gave me a new motor. So this particular motor from this part down, which is to say the cylinder head, the case, the internals of the case, like the wrist pin, the crankshaft, the connecting rod, like everything inside of here, which is like the bulk of the motor, has either 16 or 18 hours on it. So it's new in a lot of significant ways and used in some significant ways. I did break an exhaust on it, so this one has about 150 hours, and the silencer too. So it doesn't have 250, but it does have 150. It's not new. The tank, I marked up the tank by liters. I measured it myself, and I used this thicker stuff. And the idea was that someone else would be able to see it from the sky and tell me, but I mostly just use a mirror, the one you saw already, to check my gas level. What else is there to say? It has the upgraded acro arms. These acro arms are the same as the normal arms, except they're made from a slightly thicker gauge material. And they'll be a good fit for if you do acrobatics, or if you land, maybe face plant or something, they'll be more likely to hold up and not bend. What else is there to say? The cage, of course, has 250 hours. I flew this when I first started as a 15-hour pilot. It was my second paramotor. And this side actually looks really good, but this side, it's less than perfectly straight, and there's like a dent in it on this side as we bent it back. So it doesn't impact the performance of it at all. It's a titanium frame. It's the titanium race version 1 frame, and it's pretty perfect for learning to fly. You can bend it pretty severely and still bend it back. Aluminum frames, the way I describe it is you can bend them back between 0 and 2 times, and only if the bend is pretty slight. With a titanium frame, it's just really forgiving of new pilot errors. The Nitro 200, I find it to be a really reliable motor. I went 174 hours before my first problem on my Nitro. It's not as strong as a Moster 185 though. So like the term I use, I describe it as a Moster 150. The ideal pilot for this would be probably between 130 and maybe 215 pounds, 220 pounds. If you start weighing more than that, then you might be better served by a Moster 185 or something like that. What else is there to tell you? It has pockets on it, but the reserves would mount here and then go up through here and into these shoulder straps. One of the things I look for, one of the things I care about a lot is how the reserve mounts to the motor. A lot of motors either just do it poorly or they frustrate me almost with their lack of planning. They'll tell you to use a front mount reserve or stick it to the side arm or something cheesy like that. This is built for a reserve. Oh, it's E-Start. So this is a pretty new battery actually. It came with the Tornado, but I like to run bigger batteries because I tie a strobe into it. This is my Tornado, and the strobe is tied into the starter battery. So for that reason, you get a brand new battery instead of one from a couple years ago, because I'll give you my Tornado battery. What else is there to say? I think the belt is fairly new. It doesn't have any known problems. It's been a really good machine for me. I'm almost bummed to let her go, but who needs 3 paramotors? That just seems excessive. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll come in close. Oh, it's not clutched. I actually kind of prefer a non-clutched motor for the most part, because I get to control when the prop spins and when it doesn't spin. Whereas if you have a clutched motor, sometimes it spins at idle when it's not supposed to. Sometimes it just freewheels as you land, and it doesn't stop as quickly if you hit the kill button. So anyway, I like non-clutched, but some people like clutched, and you can decide for yourself what you like. That's what it is. The whole thing weighs 45 pounds. They're advertised as weighing 42, but it's like 45 with the E-Start. What else is there to say? This little patch was where I kept my Vario. Little Velcro. I don't know. Those are the things I would want to know if I was buying this paramotor. I'll just come around close so that you can get a good look at it. In case there's something. This is the kind of video I'd want if I was buying.